Hi everyone, how are you? LeahCoss with the Mortgage Center. I just had an email from a new client, someone who found me online through my video blogs, who went to their bank, I won't say which one, and they were pre-approved. And then the push came to shove, they found a property that they wanted to buy, and the banks reassessed the file, did a full approval process, and ultimately said, we can't approve you, or you have to go from putting 5% down to 25% down. Now, where they got 25%, I'll never know. 20 should be the threshold. But that said, this client is obviously in a tight situation because his subject removal is in 3 days, and he doesn't have an approval because he doesn't have 25% to put down with his particular bank. He has now since come to me. We're looking at his file from my eyes and from all of my multiple lenders' eyes, and we're going to try and figure out a solution for him. But the reason I wanted to do this post is because it is very important for people to understand, whether it be a mortgage broker, who isn't me, or a bank. When you go to get a pre-approval, many of them, whether it be laziness, busyness, or lack of care, they're doing a very surface level pre-approval. And what that means is they're basically saying, well, how much do you make? Awesome, write that down. How much are your debts? Okay, great, write that down. And they just ask you the questions, not diving deep in asking, well, how much do you make a year? Great. How do you make it? How long have you been with that company for? What did you make your last 2 years in a row? You need to ask these probing questions. And the reason is I hate to say it, but 80% of you, when I ask you how much you make, are actually giving me an incorrect number. It's correct in your eyes, but it's incorrect from the bank's perspective. So when you go to get a pre-approval from a bank or a mortgage broker and they don't ask you probing questions, I guarantee you the pre-approval that they gave you is wrong to some degree, whether it be that you can afford more or afford less or not get a mortgage at all. And that can really obviously put you in a tight situation and a heartbroken situation, because you go through the trouble of finding the home of your dreams, you finally find it, you get an accepted offer, which is stressful enough to go through that process, and only to find that there was never a chance of you getting approved. So I want you to know that a pre-approval, for one, is not an approval, and for two, be careful who you're dealing with. Because I don't want you to be disappointed if you find out that you either left money on the table and you could have afforded more, or that you couldn't have been approved at all and you wasted your time and your heart and all of those other things and emotions that go into buying a home. So if you want to get pre-approved, if you've been pre-approved by the bank and you just want to double check and see, is that correct? Am I leaving money on the table? Or if you've never been pre-approved, or if maybe you don't even think you can buy a home, but you just want to see how far away are you from getting into a home, give me a call. This is what I do. I not only ask you the pre-approval questions, but I ask you probing questions to make sure that this is as close to an approval as possible. And as well, I look at different scenarios, so buying a townhouse to buying a single detached to buying a rental unit home. Those are all different pre-approval processes, and check out my other slides. I talk about maximizing your buying power in another presentation. It's a really good presentation for you to watch. But I do all of that to make sure that when you do find the home of your dreams, that you're able to get it, that you don't have that disappointment. And if you can't get it, or if when you talk to me and we pre-approve you and find out you're still not there yet, I don't just leave it. I tell you options. One, we can do lease to own. That buys you time. You're already in the home of your dreams, and you will be able to get approved at the end of your lease term. Or alternatively, I'll say, look, your credit's an issue, or your debts are an issue, or X, Y, and Z has to happen, and then you're ready to buy a home. I never leave you without the next step in mind. So give me a call, LeahCoss with the Mortgage Center. I'm always happy to help, and I want to make sure that we get you into the home of your dreams sooner rather than later. So hopefully I'll be hearing from you soon.